as to how human approach is required to face problems. The book also emphasizes the need by entrepreneurs to appreciate others and also suggests smooth appreciation down the line to people like supervisors, staff, workmen, as well as salesmen, managers, etc. The entrepreneurs should take every opportune moment to appreciate both who are in the organization and outside for any deserving act. Every entrepreneur should practice the simple act of appreciation to have a pure insight. Mr. Viswanathan further states that one should have a positive thought. The entrepreneur should learn the simple art of throwing away ego. The power of positive thinking should develop the power of mind over the matter. Modern psychology and placebo effect are dealt at length in the book. The author has also gone into various real-life situations and the understanding of human brains. The author has extensively quoted various Vedic beliefs for human success and Ramana Maharshi's teachings, and also referred at many places detailed study of successful entrepreneurs and reasons for their success and analyzed, and finally he agrees with the Guru Peter Drucker's entrepreneurship is neither science nor an art, but it is a practice. The benefit of yoga and meditations are explained in detail. The book deserves greater appreciation and needs to be prescribed by every college for their students, and I strongly recommend use of this book as a reference book for management education. My salutation to Mr. Viswanathan. I think hope I fairly covered what's the book. Now it is up to you to buy this book, pay for it, buy it, and enjoy it, and be successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ramaswamy. Our next dignitary for this evening is Mrs. Mary Rodrigues, a leading woman entrepreneur and a very close family friend. I would now request Mrs. Gayatri Vishwanathan to come onto the stage and honor Mrs. Mary Rodrigues. I would now request Mrs. Mary Rodrigues to speak a few words to us.
Good evening. I still have not understood why I have been invited with all these eminent people sitting here, but I was also given this book and I very diligently went through the book backwards and forwards because it's quite a heavy book to read, and but I think there is a lot of parallels of what has happened in my own life, and I quite understand maybe that's the reason why they have called me on. At the offset, at the beginning, I would like to congratulate Mr. Viswanathan for attempting to put this together, which is quite a lot of work and effort, and assimilating it and putting it into 300 and odd pages is quite a difficult task. As far as entrepreneurship is concerned, what he has said is entrepreneurship is not just somebody who is an entrepreneur in business, who is doing a trade, who is making profit, loss, etc. But I think every one of us is an entrepreneur from the day you're born, because you are living an enterprise, your own life, which is an enterprise. And in that enterprise, you go through so many experiences, and the journey is a long journey. When I started business, I had joined my own family business 33 years back, and it's been a really wonderful long journey for me. Even though it's our own enterprise, I really started at the very bottom of my firm, because that is the philosophy of my father. He decided that I shall go through the whole rungs. And I really appreciate for having taken me through that, because the learning was immense. Initially, when you're a young entrepreneur, you're only interested in fulfilling the job well, success, and all the steps that take you towards fulfilling the job. So your whole attitude is quite different, because it is very mechanical, and you want to be as systematic as possible and successful. That is a great goal in one's life. But as you go along, you realize that in business and entrepreneurship, that success does not depend solely on you. You can do everything under the sun very successfully, but you may not gain success. Because in entrepreneurship, there is something called the combined energy of all the people around you. The vendors who come to you, the people you go to buy things from, customers you deal with, they are all a varied flock of people that come and go. There are people who are angry with you, generally angry, people who are very aggressive, and being a woman entrepreneur has been extra double journey for me, because you do see a lot of gender issues even today. And so it is, then you realize that probably we have to give a lot more before we receive. And that exactly, I mean, we believe that being an entrepreneur, I do things right, I deserve to receive. But actually, there is a lot of giving first before you receive. And when we give, whether it's your time, your understanding of people, patience, which has all been dealt with in Mr. Viswanathan's book, not getting angry very fast, having a long rope for somebody who is aggressive, because there's a reason why he's aggressive. So if you're able to tackle all this, then that becomes your second phase of entrepreneurship, from a very young, angry entrepreneur who wants to make success, and then you move into this field of where you actually want to give and then receive, and you realize that you can actually put the business enterprise in a better way. Then there is a third stage, which is the journey which I'm on now, where you try to question and want to see more truth in life and in relationship to entrepreneur. And when that happens, believe me, it's an amazing journey. And that is the journey that Mr. Viswanathan has talked about. Cosmic energy. There is cosmic energy. For you to quest for it, to seek for it, to find a teacher for it, to practice meditation. I mean, I'm a Reiki practitioner along with Gayatri, so we understand our journeys, which is quite different. But finally, it is, no book can really explain to you what is the truth unless you experience it yourself. And being an enterprise, your life is an enterprise to you. And you are actually a divine entrepreneur, because you have been given resources by way of the cosmic energy. And Mr. Viswanathan talks about cosmic energy being given it's preordained to various people. So he has drawn comparison to, say, Mr. Ambani or any of the successful business people of our country as probably having more preordained cosmic energy compared to somebody else who's also putting in as much hard work and not so successful. But my take on that is a little different. I'm sorry, Mr. Viswanathan, that I slightly tend to differ on that, more out of experience. That, yes, cosmic energy is needed for every one of us, and 100% all our lives are preordained, because we know exactly many things which unravel in our life which we never thought would happen. We don't know what the next day holds for us. But there is somebody divine who has figured it all out for you. And there is something called karmic that we are working our life through. So all that aside, there is a huge part as a free will, or that we have got a free will as part of creation, and as one of the higher creations of the whole universe which God has designed. We probably have that portion also with us, because I find that when I have exercised my free will, the divine energy seems to be doubling. Because whatever is preordained, I'm probably helping the divine to help me better. And that is probably the success of Dhirubhai Ambani and various other very successful enterprises. And we don't have to go very far to look at big enterprise and entrepreneurs. There are very, very small people. If you are able to meet and talk to people on the roads, there is such an interesting life as to how they have reached. Even if it's I always think a tea shop fellow is the best entrepreneur, because he does everything himself, from purchasing to dispensing the product and collecting the money, and at the end of it he saves it and he has to decide what he has to purchase the next day, and so on and so forth. So there are so many untold entrepreneurs in this world who are probably not in our eye or have never crossed our path, but do seek for them and you will see the divine in them too. So this is an amazing journey, and this book is a good starter to make us think further, to quest for further things. And I wish Mr. Viswanathan all the very best.
Thank you, Mrs. Mary Rodrigues. I now request the author, Mr. T.S. Viswanathan, to relate his experiences about the book.